right, well, we're going to do something a little different today, if that's okay with you guys. Next week, we are going to be starting the pastor's study that he wants us to do for 4 weeks. And what he wants us to do is to take notes during the sermon and then bring those back, and we'll talk about them next week and talk about the sermon from last week.
In this class or down there as a
In
whole
this
group?
class.
Okay.
In this class. So the whole church is in on it in small groups. So that's what our plans are for the next 4 weeks. So I don't want to start Joshua 6 because it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get through it. You know, I don't want to split it up. So what I'm going to do here is just prepare us for that, because we'll be talking about going around Jericho, the walls falling, the trumpets, and all that kind of stuff. So what I've got planned for us, if that's okay, is to listen to the different kinds of shofar blasts that are done, because there's different ones for different meanings, and there's different words for them. And then that'll play into Joshua 6. And then the other thing is, I found an archaeological, a doctor that does the archaeology over there, and I'm really impressed with what he's done. And he'll show you what they found at Jericho that confirms what the Bible said. So that'll be about 30 minutes. But I think we'll start with the homework I gave you guys last week and go ahead and do that before we turn the TV, the projector on, all right? Because I think I found something here. I want to run it by you guys, see if you guys see it too. Would anyone like to open us up in prayer? Amen. All right. One thing that okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. I didn't think I was going to be doing this early. This is the shot from Mount Nebo. This is where Moses died. And if you look down here, this is Acacia Grove, where the Israelites camped. Jericho River runs through, Jordan River runs through here. They crossed over. Jericho is right there. Okay. Huh? So I know we're not in 2 anymore. We're actually in Joshua 5, but something clicked with me a couple weeks ago that I kind of want to add to Joshua 2. Joshua 2 is when they're camped over here. Joshua sends the 2 spies over here to Jericho. And who do they meet? Rahab. She's a picture of what? She's a typology of the church. Okay. This is the kingdom. This is the law. We're on the law side. Moses dies. The law dies. They cross through the Jordan, which is Jesus, come over to the other side, and they establish a new government with the 12 stones typology. And they're now in the kingdom. Okay. But these 2 spies go over, meet Rahab, and then they cross back over on the law side, basically, and say, hey, we can take this. God said, let's go. Let's cross the Jordan and go. And who do you guys think that pictures in the future?
The 2 prophets?
Yeah, the 2 prophets. That's who I think these picture. Because Israel is on this side of the law. They have not crossed over yet. Only the people that believe cross over into the kingdom. Well, these 2 spies were sent over before anybody did. Before anybody crossed through the Jordan. And guess who's there? Rahab, the church. So these 2 spies, I believe, are a typological picture of Moses and Elijah. Guess what? Moses died right here on this mountain. Elijah went up on his fiery chariot right here. If you were standing right here, you would have seen it. So these 2 people are pictured, are in this picture, you know, if you were here at the right time. Do what?
I remember that.
You remember that, okay.
Is the other side of Jordan as barren as this side is, or is it lush green with?
Actually, it's greener over there. See the, let's see all that dark spot? That's green. That's palm trees, date trees.
This side desert?
Yeah, and this side's got some desert. I don't know what that is, but this side over here is really pretty desert. And by the way, we're on the Jordan side of the Jordan River, and they don't take care of things over here like they do in Israel. When you drive around the buses and everything, there's just trash everywhere on the sides of the roads. And I was really shocked by that when I saw that. But when we crossed over, that stuff isn't over there. But anyway, that was something that just stuck in my mind. On this side, there's a lot of trash. On this side, there's not. But anyway, that's what I believe is being shown in these pictures with the two spies. I believe they're the two witnesses that are going to come back and tell Israel, man, you guys need to cross over into the kingdom. But you got to do it through Jesus. And that's the time when they say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, and that's when Christ will come back. And they'll cross over into the kingdom. So that's what I believe that's picturing. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's just something that clicked on me, and man, that really makes sense to me. All right.
Was that like pictured from standing from the north looking south?
I am standing, let's see, Jerusalem is right over here on top of this mountain. So west is like this way. So I'm actually looking north.
You're looking north, okay.
West. North would be this way, we see
Okay.
Galilee.
Okay.
So it's kind of northwest. That's how it's pictured.
This is a picture you took?
Uh-huh. Yep. And you can see the windows of the bus on the other side. So I was in the bus driving down this road when I took that shot. And by the way, if you ever go to take pictures in a bus, the guy tells you, put your lens right on the window. Put your lens of your camera right on the window. Not like this, because that's what happens. You get glare.
Looked like you were sitting on the other side of the...
Other side of the bus. Yeah, no, I just put it right up like that and took it, but I didn't put it on the window. So...
So you got windows in the sky.
Yeah.
That's what that square is.
Okay, well, I hope you guys liked that picture of the two witnesses, because that just clicked on me. I think that's pretty cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and start the video then that I want to show you guys, and we'll just go with that. And then we'll do the 4-week study Pastor's got, and then we'll be in Joshua 6 after that, so in 4 weeks. Now this guy, I just found this video on the internet, on YouTube. I was looking for somebody that can do the 4 different kinds of shofar blasts, because there's different kinds. There's a long one, and it means something. There's short ones that go in together, and then there's a really quick blasts that's called a teruah. And you have the chevrine, which I just said. You have the tekiah, which was the first one, and then the last one is the tekiah gadol, and it is the long one that gets louder at the end. And I believe that's the one we're probably going to be looking for. I don't know. The last trumpet, I don't know. But anyway, just so you know how a shofar sounds and what they're like, I'm going to go ahead and play that. The other thing that I wanted to show us here was a video of the archaeology that they found at Jericho. Dr. Wood has been studying Jericho for a long, long time, and I think he's one of the leading guys that'll tell you the archaeology that's in it. And I think he's even better than people it's been in the past. They haven't matched their dates. He can match the dates by the pottery. So anyway, we'll go ahead and watch this. This is about 30 minutes, and I almost brought mine in. I've got a shofar, I got a ram's horn off of a, oh, by the way, this is a picture of Jericho. It had 2 walls to it, which made this an impenetrable fortress. They couldn't have got in. You know, just imagine yourself, even if you can get across one wall, you're not going to make it across the second, because they're going to be pelting rocks and arrows and stuff at you as you're trying to get over the first wall and come over the second. So that's what made this a feat to be done with a miracle, basically. This is an actual picture of the Tell Jericho. And this over here is what I was telling you guys I thought might end up being the house of Rahab, because that's the only place that's still standing that there's a wall. And this guy that we're going to watch is going to confirm that. So that's why I thought that was interesting to come and see.
How long was that city?
How long? Oh, maybe about 1/8 of a mile or so. It ain't very long. It's probably, here, it ain't very long. It's probably, what, 2 city blocks max? Maybe not even that. Maybe only 1. But these are buildings here. They're smaller than some of our houses, and just think of how many you can line up there. There's some cars.
Well, there on your right, looks like grapevines or orchard of some sort. Trees
Yep.
don't look too big compared to the whole size of the city.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really lush area down here. It's tropical. Herod used to come down here from Jerusalem during the wintertime and stay, because it's more like a tropical environment during the wintertime. Palm trees everywhere. In fact, you know, I bought dates down there and a lot of stuff that they used to grow and harvest and sell down there. I had brought home dates and all kinds of that. In fact, you guys probably had some of them. I brought them back. I had some koodoos on here.
It's okay, it's no big deal.
Well, I'm just mad that I don't have them on here now. That's a kudu, so that's the shofar horn that he was using.
Gotcha.
And the ram's horn are just the sheep horns, are just little curly cues.
There are some goats that have one.
Goats have them like, yeah, there are, aren't there?
Yeah.
But in certain breeds, not all.
You are right. Okay, so let me play
Do
this.
they shed them like deer do every year? They shed and get new ones?
I don't think the koodoos do. I think they're hair, not horn, not calcium antlers. So I don't think the koodoos shed theirs every year.
You mentioned that the city took 9 acres. In comparison, the church property here is 16 or 19 acres, so you can just about see what size the city was according to the church property.
So about half of the church property. And the church property is all the grass out there too, right? So that's
The size of the grass field out there.
okay. Jericho's roughly about the size of that grass out there with the barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barn out to 99.
Okay. Well, that's a good comparison. Thanks. What else did you guys get out of that?
We got the same thing going on today.
Okay.
Lord's given us time to get our values and our worship correct.
Amen.
before he comes back and obliterates and conquers this world. So I mean, it's in prostitution and all the idol worship and stuff. Same thing going on. It's just instead of Old Testaments, it's going on in current times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same exact thing. He's given us plenty of opportunity to get our act cleaned up, and
Yes, he is.
that's what I see.
Okay.
Now, did they say the walls were made out of mud and brick?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The base, yeah, they did say that. I can't, there's two different parts. There's the base and it was something different, and I don't remember.
They said some kind of stone.
Stone, okay,
Foundation was stone.
okay. And then they put the mud and brick on top of that.
That would have been baked brick.
Okay,
So, I mean, would be similar to our bricks today. Hard.
okay. Something else I caught that was interesting, and when you read it in Hebrew, it does say this. The understanding is that wall didn't just fall like this, it actually fell beneath itself. And he did a good job with depicting that in the picture. But that's how it's the words portray it in Hebrew, that it fell beneath itself. So I thought it was interesting too that all of the grain was still in the bins.
All the what?
The grain
Grain,
was
okay.
still in their jars. They were just full. And I remember seeing stuff earlier that Catherine Kenyon did. Then she actually took a lot of that stuff and stored it in her garage, and they didn't find it until after she passed away and went and got it. But she stored a lot of that in her garage, and nobody ever knew about it. But the grain was full, which tells you that they just harvested, which you see the flax on top of the roof, which they just harvested and they were allowing to dry. So, I mean, all of this confirms what God has already said.
That grain be any good though?
Not today.
No.
I wouldn't think today. You could probably plant it. I don't think you'd want to eat it, but I think you can plant it. They've actually found date seeds at Petra, which is, they conquered Petra in 73 AD, when the temple was destroyed. And they found a date seed and planted it, and they're getting dates off of.
There's a video on that. The scientists that did that.
Okay,
They got those growing, and they got those date trees growing again, and now they're producing fruit.
yep.
So germination didn't die.
No, your seeds
If
will.
you keep seeds in a dry climate, they hold on a lot better, which
Okay.
that would be fairly dry there, so, I mean, you know, if it was in a jar or some kind of container.
Yep.
They got that World Seed Bank that up there in Iceland or whatever that we
Yeah.
watched. That's quite interesting. That's
They keep all the seeds in Iceland in the caves at
There's
a
a-
certain temperature.
yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a government facility that is maintaining what they consider heritage seeds. They're trying to keep this for future. It's actually very interesting. It's like a fortified government. It's like a Federal Reserve Bank but for seeds up in, I think it's Iceland or something. It's actually very interesting. Very interesting.
So that's why we need to go get our seeds when God comes back and restores the kingdom, right? Go get the good stuff without
Yeah.
Monsanto's
You're
genetic
right, yes.
engineering.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, I just found that interesting, and it confirmed a lot about what the Bible said and some of the questions I had. And this that was an earlier movie. That was from like 2009. He's done several more. If you want to go out and look at them, they were just an hour long, and I didn't have that. But there's plenty out there to tell you that it happened the way God said it did. So, well, we're going to be in Joshua 6 in a month after we get done with pastor study for 4 weeks. And so just be prepared for that. Be reading ahead, and now you can see.
What all do they want us to do?
Pastor, what he's going to do is preach a sermon today. He wants you to take notes on those little cards he gives you, and then bring those back and we'll discuss them next week.